Hello and welcome to Back to Basics with Sandra and Lyndall, and welcome to 2024. It is the 2nd of January and we've got a really, really exciting short form podcast today where we're talking about what we're leaving in 2023 and what is here to stay in 2024. So Sandra, I'm going to throw it over to you to kick us off.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
No rest for the wicked, right?
No rest for the wicked.
Straight into it. So what am I leaving behind in 2023? So I'm going to say the first thing is allowing gossip to happen in front of me. So I don't necessarily gossip, but I don't actually stop it when it's happening.
Yeah, fair.
And it usually happens at work. And there's a lot of, I'm going to say it's because there's so many females in the office that they just can't help themselves. So they come to me all the time. And I think it's because I just listen and they just tell me all this stuff. And I really want to stop it in its tracks when it's happening because it's not nice.
No.
Like it may be funny at the time, but it actually really isn't a nice
You know what
thing
I've
to
noticed
engage in.
that now that I've left the corporate world and I'm working in different industries with different people and, you know, really loving what I do and the people around me love what they do, I feel like I don't experience that as much anymore. And I think when I did experience it, because I was surrounded by a lot of people that just weren't happy where they were in their life, they weren't happy with their job or whatever it was. So they just bitched about everything and everyone.
Yes.
And I notice it when I catch up with those people because they're beautiful people and I love them dearly. But it's when I catch up with those people and they're still bitching about the same sort of things that I'm like, just change your fucking life.
I know.
Like, you're unhappy with where you're sitting, get up and fucking move because your negativity is rubbing off on everybody around you. And I've really noticed a significant shift now that I've changed where I'm sitting, so to speak. Do you find it's the same sort of thing?
Yeah, they don't have anything else outside of work. So work is their life. And of course, it's like that for a lot of people, whereas I've got other things that I do outside of work. Work is just a means to an end for me. It pays my bills.
Yeah.
It's not something that I want to stay in forever.
Yeah.
And so because I have other things that I focus on, my energy at work, like I do work for the company that I'm at, but I also do other stuff in the meantime. Like at lunchtime, I'm talking to clients, potential people that are going to join my classes, or me and you are constantly, you know, on WhatsApp sharing ideas for our potties. So there's other stuff that's exciting me. So I don't really have time to.
It's about taking ownership of your own happiness. I think it's really important.
It's just toxic. They've got nothing else to do. So
that's a good one to leave behind.
Leaving that behind and trying to change the dynamic of that culture in the office. If I can do that,
starts with you.
Really good. Yeah,
it really starts with you.
I'm going to start shutting that shit down.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
I am going to stop stressing over things that I can't control. I'm really bad at this because I like to be in control, and as you know, I'm really. You know, I'm always informed about things and I'm always in control and I always have a plan, I think, and I get really anxious when that doesn't happen. And it's something that, you know, and I know I can't control it. And I do actually have this internal dialogue, especially like with, you know, even something as simple as, oh, I'm running late because I'm stuck in traffic.
Yeah.
You know, something as simple as those sorts of things. And I know I can't control it, but I still stress over it and I still have anxiety about it. And I know it's just things that I need to start to reduce my own stress and, you know, reduce that anxiety, that I just need to kind of leave that behind and, you know, not stress over the things I can't control.
Yeah, and not everything has to be planned to a T. I think, you know, we stress a lot about if things don't go according to plan, or if we really, you know, a simple thing like having guests on our podcast, like having a cancellation, like we're pretty good at thinking on the spot and coming up with something, but things outside of that where it's not so fun but it is quite serious, you might be letting that, you know, get to you. And I think of you as quite a structured and planned, methodical person. So, yeah, I can imagine you. Yeah. It would be hard for you to leave that behind, but that would be
I'm better than I was.
Yeah. That's good. Another thing I'm leaving behind is the constant need for manis, pedis, eyelashes.
I'm not leaving that behind.
I don't do Botox, so that's something that I can't leave behind, but I imagine I would.
Yeah. Why? Why are you leaving that behind? You're such a get your nails done
I know,
girl.
but okay, look at them. So this is an example. So they're so tragic at the moment. So I only had them done on Christmas and they're already starting to chip. So that would mean that after a week I have to go and get them done again. So that's an expense that I really shouldn't. Like, it's just a lot.
Yeah.
My eyelashes, I got them done because I had a few events back to back. So that was an investment instead of getting my makeup done every time. So that's okay. But I think I'm going to do like on and then off. So like taper in
Why
and
don't you
out.
do press-ons or something?
I don't remember I tried that and it kept falling off and you're like, this is as bougie as it gets, Sandra.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm going to try and redirect those funds because I have some goals that I want to achieve this year and like reinvest it into my business and stuff. So if I can redirect those funds, then yeah, it'll make good for me for this year.
Nice.
How about you? Are you leaving any of those things behind?
No. No. I get obviously different services to you, so mine last a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
No.
Absolutely
It's a hard no.
No. And we kind of touched on this before, letting others dictate your happiness. I think this is a really big one and it's something that I've learned more and more over the years. Is to stop letting others dictate your happiness. But I know there's still a lot of people around me. There's a lot of people out there that, do really care about what others think. They care about that judgment.
Yeah.
And they do let it kind of dictate their mood for the day. And, I just think as we discussed before, you're responsible for your own happiness. You're responsible for your own goals. You're responsible for your own life. And it's really about taking control of that and just not letting other people kind of set the tone for your mood for the day or the week or, whatever it might be. And I think sometimes that can be hard because, I think as confident as we can both say that we are, we do care about, what our friends think, our family thinks, things like that. But, it's about not letting that dictate how you feel and how you approach things, I think is important.
I think tied in with that is also letting go of the expectation of how you think people should be or what you expect from people.
Or try to change people and they don't.
They are who they are. And, just because you're a certain way doesn't mean other people are going to be exactly the same or what you would expect in a situation, what you would do. Like I always think treat people how you want to be treated, but some people don't have that motto.
Yeah.
So we just need to
I think I actually left a lot of people behind in 2023 because of that. I had this realization. There was a lot of people around me that, I was always giving them the benefit of the doubt. And I actually read this thing the other day that said, a snake sheds their skin to be a bigger snake. And I was like, that's fucking true. That's and heavy. I had come across that in a few people that were really close to me in 2023. And I just had that realization that it's not worth it. It's not worth it.
Yeah,
my happiness is too important. I have better people around me. And when you get rid of those snakes, it makes room to invite more beautiful people and, more beautiful souls into my life that value me as a person and value what I'm doing and support me as well.
Yeah, that's a good one. Love that. Can we both agree that we are going to leave behind the get ready with me videos? I'm no longer engaging with any of that stuff. I watch that stuff to cringe. Like it's just like this weird itch that I like to watch and just go, that face. Day in the life and come with me as I purchase, my new car or come with me as I set the table for Christmas Day or whatever. So letting go of all those videos. And I'm not on TikTok anymore.
Yes, I've noticed. I can't send you all of the funny videos that I used to send you.
I know, right? So it's all on Instagram now because I was just over it. Like I do go on there a little bit, but I don't have an account and share anything on there. But yeah, getting rid of the Get Ready With Me videos. They're just so cringe. I'm just so over it.
Yeah, fair.
How about you?
Yeah, I would have to agree with you. I do like watching some of the Get Ready With Me's in terms of like I follow a lot of like fashion influencers and things like that and I get a lot of outfit inspo from that.
Same, yeah.
But in terms of, get ready. Yeah, a day in the life, follow me to what I eat in a day, like that sort of thing. I don't really enjoy that, enjoy consuming that type of content. I think some of that content actually can leave a little bit of a negative impact as well, especially the follow me in terms of what I eat in a day because a lot of people would
on a plate.
A lot of people I think will look at that content and be like, okay, I have to eat like her to look like her. And obviously we know better than that, but I think that content's not going away anytime soon. And I know we've spoken about filtering content previously. So I think, in 2024, filtering content is going to be really, really important. It's going to be a big one.
I think people will start being more selective. I have a feeling. Sorry, go.
Okay, taking over. So I've got two that I want to wrap into one, which is caring what others think of you and also being everything to everyone. I think that's a big one, and I think it can be really exhausting when you're trying to be everything to everyone. And I think a lot of us have really high expectations of ourselves, especially women. We try to do all the things and be all the things to everyone and end up being really burnt out and sometimes not even necessarily achieving what we want to achieve at the end of the day because we're spreading ourselves so thin across so many things. So I think it's really important to choose what you want to focus on, whether it's a goal, whether it's, passion or a hobby or whatever it is, and just really focus on that 100%. I went through a long-standing phase of trying to be everything to everyone and trying to impress everyone, and it is exhausting, and you just can't. You're never going to make everyone happy at the end of the day. You could be the prettiest peach, and there's someone that's not going to enjoy peaches. So I think
she's all about the metaphors today.
She's all about the analogies today.
Look, I did consciously do that in 2023. So I really stopped trying to wear all the hats, and I really sectioned my life. So I had like the gym life, I had my friendships, then I had podcasts. So I had these like different little pockets of time that I was spending my energy in. So I did a really good job of that. So I found that I could actually, instead of trying to wear all the hats at one time, I was like taking one off and then putting another one on. So I was really switching who I was in those different scenarios. So it's definitely a good thing too. And I really felt a lot less pressure. Like though I was tired and doing stuff, I didn't feel like I was
big goals though.
Yeah, I didn't feel like I was juggling as many balls because I was really structuring those sections that I was spending time in. So here to stay. I'm going to kick that off with female friendships.
Yeah.
So I think, like, as you said, letting go of those snakes in your life and the people that are just bad energy drainers, it really gives way for you to have those really solid female friendships where you support each other, you bring out the best in each other, and, not judging people for like, how you always try and find things that you have in common with people?
Yeah.
You don't really need to have things in common. You can just have really good energy together and magic. Like it's just magic, that relationship. So I'm lucky enough that in my business I get to meet women from all different walks of life. And to be honest, like we probably don't have that much in common besides a love for fitness and, having a laugh. And we just have created some amazing memories in 2023. So I definitely want to continue that in 2024.
And I think it's really about, getting out and finding those friendships as well. I think sometimes we can get stuck in a rut and creating friendships as an adult can be a lot harder. And I think it's about getting out and finding that because you can find some amazing people, whether you kind of play a sport or start a new hobby or, any of that sort of thing. Like I did that in 2023 and, have come across some incredible friends, which is amazing because I think a lot of the friendships that you form are work-related, which is fine. That's completely fine and that's, great to have. But it's also nice to have friendships outside of that
100%.
as well, like making friends with people that you just never thought you'd meet, I think is a really beautiful thing.
Yeah.
So I already kind of mentioned this a little bit, but taking ownership of your own life. I think that is a really big one. And, I say this because, as we mentioned before, a lot of people quite happily sit there and complain about all of the things that they wish they were doing or they're not doing or, I could be doing this if I wasn't doing this or, if I didn't have kids, I'd have time to do this or, all of these different things. And, I think it's time to actually, put all of those excuses aside and actually take ownership of where you want to be, what you want to do and what you want to achieve because life is fucking short. And as we mentioned in our last podcast, I don't want to get to the end and go, fuck, what if I did this? Or, I wish I could have done that. And I think it's time, to just stand up and just fucking go for it. Like, it doesn't matter if you fail or if you suck or, if it's embarrassing or, whatever it might be. Like, what if it's actually fucking good? And what if you're actually really successful? Like, you're never going to know if you just sit back and complain about it. I think it's really important to just go out and take ownership.
100%. What else are we keeping? I'm going to say a big one. I think we're both going to agree on this is saying yes.
Oh, my God, I have that.
Yeah.
Saying yes to more things and no to what doesn't serve me. I think that is a big
yes.
one. And it's just stops you from being drained, I think. And I know we've kind of touched on that throughout many podcasts, is just saying yes to having a good fucking time, you know, and even if you're tired, say yes to it, because you might meet some people, or it might be great for networking, or you might even end up, you know, creating opportunities for yourself in other areas. So I think, saying yes to the things that, you know, could potentially lead to other things, but not being afraid to say no to things that you're just not interested in.
Yeah,
you know,
just be honest with yourself.
Yeah. It's okay to say no. Like, and I think it closely ties into not caring about what others think of you and things like that. I think a lot of people say yes because they don't want people to be disappointed. You know, they're scared of that judgment from others. Fuck everybody else. You know, if it doesn't serve you, if it's draining you, if you don't want to do it, don't.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's really important. Traveling and taking that PTO. Take that paid fucking leave.
Yes.
You know, I think there's so many people that I speak to and they're just like saving up their leave for a rainy day. And why?
Yeah.
Why the fuck are you doing that? You know, you're tired all the time. You're not having a good time. You're not enjoying life. You just live to work. You live for that 9 to 5. And there's nothing wrong with that. Don't get me wrong. We all work really fucking hard. But I don't know about you. I work hard to play hard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Same.
I think that's really important, is to, you know, I've worked for a lot of people that are higher than me and that are older than me, and they work so hard. And, you know, I see them and they're in their 50s, their 60s, their 70s, and they work so hard and they never go on holiday. They never go away.
Yeah.
I'm like, when do you see your wife? When do you see your husband? Like, when do you spend time with your kids? Like, because they work so hard.
Yeah.
And I just don't want to get to the end of my life and be like, then I'm traveling, you know, and then I'm doing all of that. I look fucking hot right now.
Now you are getting out there.
I want all the hot photos of me right now on the beach in fucking wherever.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to wait until I'm, you know, 50, 60, 70 to go and have those good times.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I want to take that leave now and do it now. Because why not?
I 100% agree with you. My parents, my mum worked up until the end of last year. So she's retired, and then they've gone on like trips to India or Singapore, whatever. But my dad's got bad knees.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they're older now, so it's a lot more tiring for them to travel. And I'm like, why didn't you do it when you were younger, both able-bodied, where you could create those memories, do the experiences and things. So that's something that me and my husband both agree on, is that every year we're going to travel and go somewhere, because he works his ass off.
Yeah.
I work my ass off, and we need to have that downtime together.
I'm going to die with my bank account in the
Zero.
minus. Like, it's going to be minus, but I'm going to have a good fucking life.
Yes.
And I'm going to have a really great time. Because,
what are you going to take? You can't take your money with you.
Honestly, the amount of family members that have unfortunately passed away in my life, and we've, you know, cleaned out their houses, and they've got bed sheets that have never been opened.
Crazy.
They've got, you know, things that they've never used that we'd given them as presents years ago. And what are you saving this for?
Yeah, a rainy day.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's like the rainy days now.
Yeah,
I think that is.
There's no rainy day.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I think you just need to enjoy it now.
100%.
Enjoy it now. Live now.
100%. What else have you got?
I am keeping a consistent exercise routine. So nothing drastic, nothing that's, you know, like where it's, I have to do X, Y, Z this week, or, you know, I'm going to feel like a failure. It's just being really consistent. And I committed to this like from September, about September. Where
I saw you before and after.
Yeah. So I kind of
posted.
like, I got rid of the excuses where I was like, I don't have time. And, you know, because I am fucking busy. Like from my 9 to 5 to my 5 to 9, it's just constant. Like it's always. And then I just thought, I'm going to find pockets of time as we, you know, something that we both agree that we need to use those pockets of time. And I just committed to moving my body, and I let go of like an aesthetic goal.
Yeah.
And looked at performance and, you know, running. I'm in my running era.
You really are.
I really am.
Yeah.
It's so good. And I just, I stopped doing a lot of resistance and weights weights, like heavy weights.
Yes,
and
I
that
have too.
I think my body, like, it's so funny. I went to Fiji last year, started last year, and I saw like, because obviously I'm Fijian Indian, so I saw like the Fijian women that were there. And I was like, this is why my body is the way it is, because they're so like solid and their legs are like shaped like my legs. And I was like, this all makes sense now where it comes from. But sometimes like weights and heavy deadlifts and stuff doesn't agree with us all the time. So I'm kind of letting go of that and moving more into what feels good for me.
I'm definitely doing that as well.
And like, I think taking the pressure off, like constantly lifting. You know how lifting is such a big thing now with women? Maintain your muscle as you grow older. No, just do what feels right. And weights for me, it makes me like bulk up. So I think I let go of that a little bit, and it just let go of a lot of the excess that I was carrying.
I've been consciously doing in 2023, moving into 2024. I know I definitely need to bring that consistency back a little bit for myself. Now that I'm working for myself, and I've done this before when I've worked for myself, because it is my own brand and it is my own business. It's, if I don't work, I don't get paid essentially. Yeah. So sometimes training can take a backseat to that. And I know I need to flip that a little bit better in 2024. But I'm the same. Sometimes I only have time for a 25-minute workout. Yeah. Whereas like the old me, like 5-10 years ago, like if it wasn't 60 minutes, it basically didn't count. So now it's just getting in, getting out. Sometimes I'm sticking to a program, sometimes I'm not, and that's okay.
It's so okay.
It's just about kind of sometimes letting go of that structure a little bit. Yeah. I think we've both gone through the phases where we're like really structured. You have to stick to a program. You've got this sets and reps and weight, and you have to do it. And if you don't do it, then you're not going to be getting the best results. And I think it's about having that understanding, of where you're at and your goals and all of that stuff.
And we know our bodies better than anyone, and we know what works. We know what our body responds to. And I think I'm at that sweet spot now where I kind of know what's working. And throughout the Christmas period and New Year period, like I ate like a lot.
Oh, same.
I'm
still eating a lot.
Same, and I'm going to Queensland tomorrow, so I'm going to be eating a lot of burgers and fries and mozzarella cheese sticks over there. But I've been able to find that balance where the scale hasn't peaked. I've been able to maintain it because I know what's, I'm just moving and enjoying it. Yeah. So, yeah.
You have to love it. You have to enjoy it.
Have to love it, yeah.
All right. My last one is not disregarding your mental health. I think that's really important. We talk a lot about physical health on this podcast, I think, because we obviously have that fitness background, but I think mental health is really, really important, if not more important than physical health. And so I think it's about being aware of how you feel mentally and, not pushing that to the side and not disregarding that and, taking the time to work on it if you need to, like get help if you need to, do self-care if you need to, like whatever you need to do to, mentally feel strong and okay. I think, 2024 is the year to do that because I think sometimes we just go through life feeling shit and not knowing why or just kind of pushing it to the side and just thinking it's a sign of weakness when, really it's okay to not feel okay all the time and just, own it and be aware of it and take the time and step back if you need to, I think is important.
I think as well tied in with that is having those people around you that can recognise like when you might need a bit of a call out or are you okay, or you've been a bit silent lately, what's going on and all that sort of thing. So, tied in with that as well as making sure that you've got the right people around you as well.
Yeah. And for me, it's about taking a step back. Sometimes I, especially if it's like work or a project or something, I like really invest everything into that. Like I'm really passionate and I really just put everything into it. And then sometimes I just need to, step back and breathe and just, revisit it again later maybe.
It's the being everything to everyone.
Yes. I need to stop that. But guys, we want to hear from you in terms of what you're leaving in 2023 and what is here to stay in 2024. So pop your comments below. We want to have a chat to you about this and we'll see you next time.